Hi Lana, welcome once again to Lana's Coach. I know today's topic is a bit scaring because you're going to look at some of the hardest courses here in Kenya. Of course, I'm not scaring anyone because ideally we are going to look at some of the factors that determines if a course is hard or not, right? So ideally we can always maneuver or navigate through these particular factors, and maybe you'll find them easy. So it depends with a lot of factors for you to be able to say that this particular course is hard. I'll share the article that I've already written about this particular topic within the description. So if you have some interest, you can always click on the link and read along, right? So in my article or in our website, we have mentioned about the 12 hardest courses here in Kenya. As I mentioned, there are quite a number of factors that actually determine if a course is hard or not. So these are factors such as high dropout rates, right? So if we hear people, like for example students, keep on dropping a particular subject or other program, chances are it is a very hard course, right? So maybe they could also have some additional reasons as to why the drop rate is high, right? So this is one that make this particular list of courses to become hard, high dropout rates. Of course, it's very stressful for some people to cover an entire module, right? And of course the other one is teaching style, right? So teaching style normally differ from one lecturer to the other, from one university to the other. This includes the grading criteria, course material, and of course expectations, right, and other factors from the organization as a whole, right? So the teaching style ultimately can maybe hinder maybe students from understanding a particular course, but these particular criteria are subject to debate, so we can only just highlight them. And of course, intensive courseware, right? Like for example, if you do some actuarial science, right? Actuarial science is one of the hardest courses you're going to see. So there are a lot to be covered, so you realize that it has some kind of vast syllabus, right, which requires students to put a lot of work or rather more hours into learning. So this leads maybe students to view this particular course as hard, right? And of course there are other factors that include continuous exam assessments, right? Of course there are those particular courses that almost every time you meet for lectures, you have to be given some assessments. So this exhausts students, right? So this never ending of preparing for exams make this particular courses to be hard. And of course the university talking about the university curriculum, university syllabus, some of these particular components that are maybe tied to the course make this particular course become difficult. We are not saying that maybe all universities have their own way of coming up with this particular syllabus, so the course structure might maybe make a particular course to be hard or course to be easy. So this affects how the course is delivered to students, and also might maybe interfere with the popular university ranking. And of course admission exams. I remember when you are doing some kind of entrance exam, we used to call it entrance exam at the university level. We are around 200 of us, but only a few of us passed, like 50 of us. So you can see passing these particular exams also make the students feel that this particular program or course is hard, right? So only a few students will always manage to pass them. So having highlighted these factors that determine if a course is hard, then we can now look at the first course that is hard here in Kenya, and that is pharmacy courses, right? Why? Because it covers almost all major areas of science, starting from chemistry, pharmaceutical inorganic chemistry, pharmaceutical organic chemistry, all these, right? So this topics, I tell you, they're very hard, which make it one of the toughest courses to do here in Kenya. The second one is actuarial science, as I earlier mentioned, right? It encompasses many subjects. It requires a lot of effort, right? Like you have to pump in almost 300 hours, right, to study for each exam, right? So you have to pass this particular exam. So it's a very challenging kind of a course to pursue. Of course, I've also listed the requirements, right, that you need to attain or have. Then the third one is architecture. It's also regarded as one of the most demanding courses in Kenya, and for this reason students have to do a lot of work, right? So it requires students to remember complex formulas, right? So it's because of the dynamic or nature of maybe how buildings are constructed and everything, students are introduced to new technologies, methods, and even the materials, right? This proves to be challenging, and that's why it's regarded as one of the most or hardest courses in Kenya. So if you meet these requirements, C+, you can always proceed and enroll. Now, remember, there's something about these hard courses. The more a course or the harder the course, the best fruit you can always bear, right? Or you are going to harvest the best fruits, right? Because we say there's some kind of correlation between a course which is hard and a high paying course at the end, right? Of course, we have chemistry at number 4. So this also introduces students to a broad field of knowledge. So it consists of learning about biochemistry, inorganic chemistry. So it's also regarded as one of the hardest courses to pursue here in Kenya. We also have computer science, right? Computer science entails a lot of mathematics and calculus, discrete maths, statistics. So also this one is seen as one of the hardest courses. And of course, we have engineering. We have different sub-disciplines of engineering: civil engineering, mechanical engineering, name them. But from them on, electrical engineering proves to be one of the marketable ones in Kenya, so you can always go ahead and enroll for it. But remember, any engineering course requires a lot of work to be done. And then we have also neuroscience courses. Here is where you'll always find maybe 2 students doing this course, or 3, right? It's very, very hard, right? So is actually all about brain and its function. So there are very many things to learn, right? And it's actually comprising of complex topics. So very few people actually enroll for this particular course, right? Then you have law, right? So law is also regarded as one of the hardest courses here in Kenya, right? It has a lot of things to study, abstract concepts, right? So it requires a student to be actually good in various fields, right? So if you feel that you can be able to do this particular course, you can always enroll. Now, we also have quantum physics course. Quantum, it's not only physics course, but quantum, right? This is almost the latest type of physics course. It's very hard. In fact, it's regarded as one of the toughest or hardest course, not only here in Kenya, but across the globe, right? It's about studying atoms and particles at the very basic level and applying the theories in the real world. Taking an example of how people come up with the latest processors or computer processors, they use the quantum particles. So if you do this, you can be able to produce, or rather come up with the various computer processors. Then we have nursing, right? Often this is one of the rewarding courses after you have graduated, but you have to go through a lot of classes. You have to understand physics, you have to understand chemistry, biology, right? Psychology, nutrition, right? So if you feel that you can be able to do this, the qualifications are captured there. And of course, we have data science. Of course, data science here also requires a lot of mathematical concept. You need to do a lot of programming, right? Actually, this is like a programming course, right? For you to play around with data sets, you need to understand a lot of programming languages, talking about Python, Java, and so on. Then we have, lastly in our list, I believe, that is medicine courses. Naturally, this is regarded as one of the hardest courses in Kenya, right? Because it requires you to logically think as a student and create solutions. Remember, here you are dealing with human health, right? So you just need to understand the right medicine that you have to prescribe to the patient. So any error, you'll lose someone's, or you make someone lose their life. So I believe these are some of the hardest courses that I've so far sampled. So should you find maybe that I've omitted any course that you regard as hard, you can always share it within the comment section and tell us why you feel that it is hard. If this kind of information is useful, always like our videos, and also don't forget to subscribe. All right, thanks.